We pay homage to the Buddha. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. So now we have to start the last part of mental fetters. We can also say the last part of Sankhara Khanda, the formation aggregate. So when we are going to talk about formation aggregate, the last part, it should be we start with the three abstinences. In Pali, we call vidati. Actually, in the Noble Eightfold Paths, we frequently know these three vidati. As we have, Sama Vacha, Sama Kammanta, Sama Ajiva. Okay, now we will start with Sama Vacha, right speech. So when we talk about right speech, actually there will be 4 Bhavira actions. It's like abstaining from telling a lie, or slandering, or backbiting, harsh speech, or abusive speech. Also, we have useless talk. Actually, if we analyze too much, okay, there will be many other information about it, especially about like abusive words, right? Okay, now, contrary to that, we also have like telling the truth. Actually, we have already explained all the 5 precepts or 10 precepts, especially about 8 precepts, right? In the chapter of Sila. There we have already mentioned about telling a lie, for example, seen as unseen, unseen as a seen. If we tell untruth, this is also called musawada. Not only that, we can also imagine all other senses, for example, hearing as unhearing, similarly smelling, tasting, touching, also feeling, also thinking, or knowing. If we say knowing as unknowing, for example, this also can be considered as telling a lie, musawada. There you may remember one point about Valanchaka musawada, right? When we encounter difficulty or when we are like in danger, we may tell untruths, we may hide our identity. In this case, we can say it's Valanchaka musawada. In modern society, we can also say like a white lie is beneficial for the listeners, but also untruths. This is also called Valanchaka musawada, right? We have already talked about it in the very beginning of Visuddhimagga, especially about Sila chapter. For our slandering or backbiting, actually we also have explained some part of it. Now for our harsh speech, actually it would be very wide to explain about harsh speech. According to Vinaya, we have maybe 10 types of abusive words. Okay, for example, like a nationality. This is also abusive words. For example, okay, now in the listeners, we may have many different nationality, right? I'm in Burmese, also there will be Chinese, Vietnamese, also there can be many other nationalities. So if we say, for example, you Chinese are like this is also like abusive words. Similarly, you Vietnamese are like this is also called abusive words. So sometimes nationality is also abusive words. So we have to avoid all this kind of talk. Sometimes like a family name. Actually in Myanmar, we don't have family name, but in other neighboring countries, or even all the Western countries, they may have family name, right? Similarly, family name also can be sometimes abusive words. So it depends on the way we speak. It will be harsh speech, it can be abusive words. There are many other abusive words, like for example, disease, sickness. Sickness also sometimes can be abusive words. Sometimes like a offense or a crime, that any breaking any of precepts, this also can be considered as abusive words. For example, like you are a killer, or you womanizer, something like that. This also can be considered as, right, the abusive words. Then, okay, briefly, there are many different types of abusive words for about harsh speech here. For our useless talks, also actually very wide. We have already explained all the things in the chapter of Sila. That's why here I will not elaborate anymore. Then contrary to that, we can say it's telling the truth, also telling reconciliations, to reconcile people, right? To be united. Then we may explain, or we may share something. We may just solve some problem between two people. And this can be considered, this kind of case can be considered as right speech. Another one is like a hard speech, because like a politeness. We can speak politely. This also can be considered as right speech. Another one is beneficial for the attainment. So sometimes it will be beneficial for the listeners. It also can be beneficial for the attainment. Also can be beneficial for their morality, or many other things. They can be considered as right speech. Actually, we have many different types of right speech. For example, like talking about viriya efforts, talking about morality, talking about concentration, talking about wisdom, or talking about contentment, talking about pureness in wish, and many different things. Talking about like solitude, many different things, right? All these things can be considered as beneficial talk. Talking about beneficial things, beneficial for attainment. This is called right speech. So when we talk about right speech, or there's also, we can say like many other right speech according to Buddha's teaching, right? Okay, we have many different types of talks. Especially as long as it's meaningful or beneficial, because this is it, Samavacha, right speech. Then we also have Sammakamanta, the next one. When we talk about Sammakamanta, it can be considered as right actions. So it's abstaining from wrong actions such as killing living beings, stealing, or such misconduct. Actually, we have already explained all these things in the chapter of Sila. There are many other things we can explain here. For example, what about killing? We have already explained different kinds of killing, right? You may remember, okay, I will summarize. For example, and I have already introduced the different types of killing, right? For example, we have like a sahatika, we kill, we ourselves make actions. Anatika, we order or command other people to kill for us. Another one is nisakiya, like throwing stones or throwing sticks or something like that. This also can be nisakiya. However, immovable, such as poisoning food, poisoning the lakes or water or well or any usable water. This can be considered as a tawara. Similarly, like giving instructions in the stones, right? Writing something in the stone inscriptions, or posting, right now in modern society, like posts for some article about how to commit suicide, how to hunt, how to kill. All these things can be considered as immovable. Another is like making a trap or setting a snare. All these things can be considered as tawara. Another one is 𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐸. 𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐸 means like black magic. By chanting, by reciting something, or by using black magic, if we kill living beings, this also can be considered as Banadipada, right? Similarly, we also have like a 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸, karmic power. By using karmic force, karmic power, we can also, if we kill living beings, this is also Banadipada. So there are many things we have already explained about killing. Similarly, stealing. We have already explained 25 different ways of stealing mentioned in the chapter of Sila. It will be too wide. For about sexual misconduct, we also have already explained different types of single women and married women. Also, according to the conditions, there will be many different types of, right? The many different types of offense, or the many different types of ahosan karma, right? We have already explained all the things. Then, contrary to these, the Sammakamanta, right actions, we also wrong actions, we also like right actions, right? Right actions are like protecting the life, living beings. Actually, when we talk about Sila, in every single Sila, we have two different parts. One is Charita Sila, that means to do. Another is Varita Sila, not to do. So actually, we must not kill living beings. This is a varita, not to do. Then, contrary to that, we also have charita sila. Charita means to do. For example, we have to save the living beings. Not only that, actually, when we study suttas, we can find many other statements in the suttas. For example, like in the Digha Nikaya, the first one is Brahmajala Sutta, the second one is Samanyapala Sutta. There, the Buddha mentioned many things about morality. They mentioned Panadipata, right? The Panadipati, Panadipata Pati with the door, Hoti. After that, you mentioned Nida Sato, Nida Dando, Lachi, Deyapano, and so forth. So they mentioned Nida Sato, lay down or give up any weapons, knife or arrow or spear or anything. Nida Dando, lay down or the stick or any other weapon similar to that. So this is what we have to do. Now it means that Lachi, we have to feel shame. If we don't have moral shame, we will kill, we will steal, we will have such a misconduct, right? That is why it is also necessary to feel shame. If we think it's shameful, then we can be moral. If we don't think that is shameful, we cannot be moral. This is also really very important. Another one is Deyapano. Deyapano means here, whenever we use the Pali word Daya, it means compassion or sympathy or empathy. But we can also understand Daya as loving kindness. So which means we have to radiate metta towards all living beings. So we must have metta all the time. In the case of metta, mostly we Buddhists do only chanting, metta sutta chanting, right? So it's just chanting, bhava actions. In the case of metta, it must be from our minds, metta actions. We must really have equal love to all living beings. This is called metta. Anyway, we have to introduce you later about karuna mudita. The main thing is, when we talk about Panadipata, also mentioned, don't use any weapon. Feel shame. Also trying to love all the living beings equally, or feel empathy or sympathy. This can be considered as charita sila, to do. So for about like adina dana, stealing, we have to protect other people's belonging. So they also mentioned Dana Badi Ganki. He just like what people has given to him. Because understand, he has contentment with what he has got, or what people has given to him. This can be considered as charita sila. We have to change our mind or our attitudes towards our other people's properties. Actually, when we study Vinaya, we can find the Buddha laid down the rules very strictly. We must not have any wrong thoughts or evil thoughts related to other people's belonging. Therefore, about the such a misconduct, actually, this kind of kamsamishachara, such a misconduct can destroy other people's family. So that means we have to protect other people's family. Don't try to do that. So that means it also can be considered as like the contentment with one's own wife for that husband, right? Similarly, for wife also, contentment with her husband. This can be considered as protecting one's own family, right? Similarly, we have to protect other people's family. This can be considered as right actions. So now we have the last one about Sama Ajiwa, right livelihoods. So we also have like a wrong livelihoods, improper earning, including earning with 4 wrong speeches or 3 wrong actions, right? So that means sometimes there are some people, when they tell the truth, they cannot earn money properly, so they have to tell a lie. Similarly, there are some people, if they don't kill other living beings, they're gonna survive. For example, like a fisherman, butcher, they were a hunter, like they will kill animals and they will survive. So all these things can be considered as wrong livelihoods. Then, similarly, we may also have many other wrong livelihoods, such as like a telling fortune is also unallowable for bhikkhus. If a bhikkhu is a fortune teller, this is a wrong livelihood. Similarly, there are like a revealing unto attainment, not without attaining any part and future knowledge, then a bhikkhu will reveal or he will declare, I have attained headship, I have attained Nagami, Sakadagami, Sotapanna, by telling untruth attainments. If they offer many different things, it's also improper earning. Then there are many other ways of improper earning for bhikkhus. For example, like giving medicines to devotees, sharing heavy material. Heavy material means like made of bamboo, made of wood, made of bronze, made of iron, made of stainless steel. All these things can be considered as heavy material. If they offer all these material as Sangika properties, it will be Sangika all the time, unchangeable Sangika. Then, if a bhikkhu share these properties with lay devotees or give these properties to lay devotees, this is also improper earning. This is also improper livelihoods, wrong livelihoods. So that's why when we have all these kind of wrong livelihoods, then this can be considered as, right, immoral bhikkhu or immoral persons for lay devotees. But not only that, we also have like a improper trading, such as poison trade, weapon trade, meat trade, or human trafficking, also liquor or beer or any alcohol or any like intoxicant trade. All these kind of trades are also unallowable for Buddhists. If we do that kind of trading, this is also called wrong livelihoods. So then here we have given one example. It's like a man who is afraid of a poisonous fruit. So if we know it is a poisonous fruit, we will not take, we will not eat. Similarly, if we know that is an improper livelihood or wrong livelihood, we will not do. Right? If we have that kind of mind, that kind of mindset, that means we have right livelihoods. Actually, there are many different types of right livelihood. For example, like a farmer, right? We can say right livelihoods, but in our modern society, it's very, very messy because there are pesticides, right? Because of pesticides, then we have to use some special chemical to kill many pests. This can be considered as also like killing. Anyway, the main thing is, as long as we do properly, this is called right livelihood, right? Then, okay, another one. There's the characteristics. Okay, when we say this samavacha, right speech, samakamanta, right actions, samajiva, right livelihoods. Actually, we have already explained all these things in the chapter of morality. So these are called vidity, abstinence. These are also called sila, morality. So now I will introduce as abstinence, vidity. The characteristics is non-transgressions and the respective fee of bodily misconduct, etc. They are mentioned Kaya Ducharita Ji Vatunam Avitikama, or not treating there, Amadana. So here mentioned, if we have no transgression of, right, any of body misconducts, that means body wrong actions, we also have like barber wrong actions, also wrong livelihoods, all these things can be considered as characteristics. Then we also have is a function. Its function is to draw back from the fee of bodily misconduct and so on. Function. The next one. Right? The function is to draw back from the field of bodily misconduct and so on. Kadotari Watu do Sankojana. Actually, when we say Sankojana, this also can be considered as a hesitation, unwilling to do. So we can say to draw back from the field of bodily misconduct. They are unwilling to do bodily wrong actions, verbal wrong actions, and also wrong livelihoods. All of these things can be considered as a function. The manifestation is as not doing these things, Agriya. Agriya means not doing. So that means not doing bodily wrong actions, verbal wrong actions, and also wrong livelihoods. The proximate cause is a confidence, moral shame, moral dread, sureness in wish, and so on. So there are many other things. So here I mentioned Saddha, Hirotapa, Apichada, Di, Guna. So there are many other factors. Okay, here we should talk about confidence first. We have already known Saddha in Bali. We have already introduced the meaning of Saddha. Okay, here when we say Saddha, that means we believe in karma ownership. Not only that, we also believe in the benefit of three trainings. So if we know the benefit of three trainings here, in this case, we will not do this kind of mistakes. Another one is moral shame. We have already introduced moral shame. There's also we call Atta Garawa, right? Respecting oneself as a proximate cause of moral shame. So that means when we respect ourselves, we may have moral shame. We will not break any of rules and regulations laid down by the Buddha. So actually, I have already talked about it before, such as respect our age. When we are young, we can do freely. When we grow older and older, we must be mature. Right? Then we have moral shame. Now, our knowledge or our education. As a knowledgeable person, I should not do like this. Respecting our own knowledge and education, then we can be moral. This also can be proximate cause of virility. Then about moral dread, it's too wide. We have to respect other people. For example, we respect the Buddha. We call Satu Garawa, respect to the teacher. Actually, our real teacher is the Buddha, right? Although I'm in teaching meditation, I also have to learn from Buddha's teaching. Our real teacher is the Buddha. So that means respecting teacher, that means respecting the Buddha. We may not break any rule and regulations laid down by the Buddha. This also can be called moral. This can be the cause of moral dread, the proximate cause of the moral dread, or tapa. So when we have moral dread, then we can also be moral. Then we can also have three abstinence. Another one is like a sabramacharya, like a Venerable Sariputta, Venerable Mahamoggallana. We can emulate, we can imitate, we can follow the way they practice, respecting their footsteps, the way they practice. This also can be proximate cause of moral dread. Another one is our aim, our goal or our ambition. That means we may set goal to attain Nibbana, for example. If we don't have moral dread, it's impossible to be moral. It's also impossible to attain Nibbana. This also can be the cause of moral dread. Then the cause of the moral dread also can be the cause of abstinence. Then for about pureness in wish. Actually, we have many different types of, in Bali we call apicca. We have an apicca dati guna. Right? Apicca means pureness in wish. Actually, there are many ways of pureness in wish. For example, photographies. Sometimes we don't have any contentment with photographies. Okay, for example, I'm not content with robes. I may accept many, many robes. I'm at the same time, I will wear many set of robes. Maybe in the morning one set, in the afternoon one set, in the evening another set. We can change many set of robes within one day. Then it will be endless, right? We have, similarly, I may accept many big amount of foods. Take this one, that one, the many, many, many foods from many different donors. So although I cannot eat, I will accept many. Also, I will store up all the foods. That means we don't have contentment, right? So fewness in wish also can be considered as photographies, contentment with the photographies. If we're going to get more and more, sometimes we also think, oh, what I have got is very little. Many people gain more than that, more than me, for example. When we have this kind of mind, this kind of concept, then we will not have fewness in wish. Sometimes, the robe other people wearing is better. If we think this kind of mind, this is also spoiling our contentment. We may not have fewness in wish. Actually, in the community, it also mentioned, right? In the case of Aggregate, there are many explanations. Okay, I will just say only one thing. For example, devotee offer a piece of meat to every single bhikkhu, for example, right? The same weight, right? The same amount. But a bhikkhu may think, oh, a piece of meat in other people's bowl is bigger than him, bigger than his. This kind of thing can be considered as Aggregate also, right? He wishes to get more than he can. If we don't have that kind of mind, we can be moral. If we have this kind of mind, we can be immoral anytime. That's why fewness in wish also can be considered as primary cause of abstinence. Now here I mentioned RD means so on. There are many other factors. As where I have said, contentment, right? We may have many different types of contentment. If we don't have contentment, sure, there will be breaking precepts. Not only that, there are many other things, right? Like not knowing the rule and regulations. If we don't know rule and regulations, then there can be many breaking of morality, breaking of rule and regulations. That is why there are many other major factors that can be possibly cause of abstinence, 3 abstinences. So these 3 abstinences are also called, right? We have like a 3, the morality. Okay, we also have like a 3 abstinences also can be arising in 3 occasions. We have like a sambata viridi, occasional abstinence. So here, occasional abstinence means when we really encounter difficulty, at the time we can know how strong we are. Okay, I will say practically. Whenever I get someone talk to local people, I also talk to them, right? If you have to choose one of the 2, money and morality, which one will you choose? Mostly they will answer without hesitation. We will choose morality. Because we know the theory. In the very beginning of chapter, in the Sila chapter, we have already explained many things about morality. For example, we call Lava Priyanta. Some of the people, their morality is in gay. That means when they have opportunity to earn something, they will break the morality. They will break the precepts. So whenever I ask people, they will say, they will not choose money, they will choose morality, right? But when I ask how many times have you ever chosen in your life? Then no answer. That means in our life, how many times we have chosen? This is called samatha-viditi. We really encounter to choose morality and gain. If we have chosen morality, this is called samatha-viditi. Sometimes we have to break precepts for our family, our friends. Right? So at the time, if we have already chosen morality, although our friend dislike or our friend hate us, we just follow the precepts. In this case, we can say it's samatha-viditi. So there are many stories about samatha-viditi. Okay, I have to introduce one story mentioned in the commentary. Every time, whenever we read something about samatha-viditi, we can find the same story about 𝐴𝐻𝐿, two brothers. So one of the younger brother and older brother, right? Chula 𝐴𝐻𝐿, Maha 𝐴𝐻𝐿. So their mother has sickness. Then brother had to take care of mother. Also, their doctor of the physician also encourage the two brother. But if your mother can eat rabbit meat or rabbit or hare, maybe, right? Yeah, they are similar. I think in the forest it's like a hare, right? No rabbits. Anyway, rabbit or hare, it doesn't matter. Then your mother can recover. Then the elder brother order the younger brother. Okay, you should find the rabbit. Then I will take care of my mother. The younger brother went to the forest. He looked for a rabbit. Then on seeing a rabbit, he chased the rabbit. Finally, he can catch the rabbits in the bushes. Then you can imagine the eyes of the rabbit, like crying, you know, like asking for release, right? Although the rabbit cannot speak anything, then he's like in his eyes, the 𝐴𝐻𝐿, the younger brother could see, spare my life, like a saying, right? Spare my life, spare my life. On seeing that, he thought, to save my mother's life, I should not keep other living beings' life. And he released the rabbit and come back with empty hands. On seeing it, the older brother scolded him. That means you don't love your mother. Why you do like this? When he told his story to his older brother, then he also say, okay, now I will have my mother. He just determined, because such a determiner, right? Determined by telling the truth. Although I have an opportunity to kill a rabbit, I didn't kill out of compassion, out of sympathy. By telling this truth, may my mother recover from sickness. After that, his mother can recover. This is just one of the story. Okay, the main thing is, if we encounter difficulty, we can test how strong our morality. We can say samatha-viditi. It cannot arise all the time, only occasional. When we have very tough condition, when we have encountered many difficulties, then it will arise. We call occasional abstinence. Second one is samadhana-viditi, undertaking abstinence. So undertaking abstinence means like taking a precepts in upasthati. Then we may take precepts, we may observe whole day, although we don't have any opportunity, we undertake. We avoid. In this case, this is called samadhana viriddi. So in the case of samadhana viriddi, we cannot limit the time. It can be any time. For samadhana viriddi, for example, we may take a research for 1 day. After 1 day, they can break research. Right? Similarly, somebody may determine for 7 days. After 7 days, they can break precepts. For samadhana viriddi, there's a limitation, the time limited. So anyway, for example, like ordinary person, we have to undertake the Patimokha rules. This is lifelong. So if we don't encounter any difficulty, we can say we are moral. When we encounter difficulty, we have to decide with samadhana viriddi, how strong we are. Right? This is the answer for our parami perfections. So the first two, samadhana viriddi and samadhana viriddi, are very strong for some people, or very weak for another people. It depends on our personality. But sometimes we also think that we don't have parami, right? Many people say, I don't have parami. Because we check our morality. If we strictly follow morality, then we have parami. We have perfections. Although we have many opportunities to break precepts, we keep following precepts, then we have very strong parami. Okay, I will give another story. You may have known the first story of Dhammapada, Venerable Chakubala. Many people think that, oh, it's very terrible. Why it's very extreme, right? Although the physician gave him iron drop, he didn't lay down, he didn't apply ointment into his eye. If he can apply one time, he can recover. Why he didn't do like this? Why so extremely follow him? Right? The Dudanga. Then people may think, oh, this is the extreme way. This is extreme, like this is very extreme. But in his mind, it's minor. He thought, in the samsara, I have been blind man in many lives. I have been a crippled man in many lives. He thought like that. But I have never attained Nibbana. That's why I have to be like this now. He just followed his own determination to practice Dhutanga. Then he blind. So when we review previous parts, okay, I have to say 4 types of priyanta, right? Lava priyanta, I have already said, some of the people, their morality is in the end gay. Yasa priyanta, there are some people, their morality is in the end attendance, family or friends, followers maybe. This is called Yasa Priyanta. Another one is Anga Priyanta. That means if they have to give up their body parts, they will break precepts. In the case of Venerable Chakubala, he gave up his eye. He just followed morality. Anga Priyanta. He's a very strong parami, we can say like this. This is the proof of his parami. Although he has to give up with his life, he will do it. We call Jivita Priyanta. Right? So that means there are some people, if they have to die for something, then they will break precepts. In his case, he will not break his precept, although he has to give up his life. So that means he's very strong parami, very strong perfections. So now, okay, I have to introduce the first two, samadhana viriddi, samadhana viriddi. We can text how strong our parami. It depends on how we follow, how much deeply we respect the value of morality. But the last one, 𝐸𝐬𝐸𝐬𝐸. This one is actually uprooting abstinence. Especially the noble ones has uprooted defilements and never break any of the precepts. You have already known the Sotapanna will never break 5 precepts. Right? Sakadagama also never break 5 precepts. Anagami will never break 10 precepts. This is called 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸. So for them, is minor. Okay, one more thing. Actually, we have already talked about many stories in the past. One of the story mentioned. Okay, one day, the king is going to respect one bhikkhu, one senior, is happening in Sri Lanka. The Mahatera has very seriously sick. Then also he's groaning. Then the king, overhearing that, was to leave. Then the attendants of the senior said, "How shameful Bande." Now the king is going to leave. Why? Then the junior, the attendant bhikkhu answered, "Because you cannot overcome your pay. That's why he is going to leave." Okay, let him wait for a while. The Mahatera just trying to review his morality. I have already explained the same thing many times, right? After that, by practicing recollection of morality, he can also have pamaja delights. After that, we have piti, rapture or joy. After that, passaddhi, tranquility. Then we have sukha, happiness or bliss. After that, samadhi, asset concentration. He attained asset concentration. Based on that, he could practice vipassana. He could also attain headship on the spot. When the Mahatera lets the king to enter, the king enter and pay respect him. The king asks, "Why you can attain very quickly like that?" He just say, "I recall my morality." Then he just explain his process of practice. Then the king bowed down to him. Also, he also expressed, "Now, I am not paying respect to your virtues of an arhat. I'm just paying respect to the virtues you observed or undertaken when you are ordinary bhikkhu. Because as arhat, he does not make he need not make any efforts to observe precepts. As an ordinary bhikkhu, we have to remind ourselves in many different ways. That is why samatha vritti, samadhana vritti are for ordinary people is very difficult. For arhats or noble people, samuccita vritti, they are very easy to observe precepts. Okay, these are 3 abstinences. Okay, now we have to continue another one. They are also called sila. So you have already know what's really called sila, right? We also call morality, right? Sila. So we have already explained many things about sila in the very beginning, sila chapter, but this is it. Actually, I have already explained this one in that chapter also. But the characteristic of sila is restraining or training, silana. It's very simple interpretation, right? Otherwise, the function is the destructions of immoral states, dusila vidasana, or blameless navacha. So if we observe precepts, we were destroying immoral. We were destroying blamable, right? It can be like it also can like the functions are like a blameless, right? Blameless is the function. So I have already explained about blameless many times. Okay, I have to review one more times. Review one more time, right? Blameless means we don't complain ourselves. sometimes if we make some mistakes, we will complain ourselves too much. This is called, we call 𝐸𝐻, right? Sometimes we are blamed by wise people, good people, if we do mistake. Then sometimes we are punished according to the law. So this is also called blameable. Okay, for there are one more thing. By doing a mistake, we can be reborn in the hell, in the four states. This also can be called blaming, right? Anyway, the main thing is if we are moral, we may not have all this kind of problem, all this kind of the unpleasant conditions. Okay, so this is called the function. Function is destruction of immoral states. Also can be the function is blameless. The manifestation is as having purity, sotia. Here, in the case of purity, that means we have very pure bodily actions, very pure bhava actions. We can also understand another way. By bodily actions, we don't disturb other living beings, or we don't destroy other living beings. Similarly, by bhava actions, we don't disturb or we don't destroy other living beings. This can be considered as purity. The purity of body actions and bhava actions. The approximate cause is moral shame and moral dread. We have already explained before, right? This is called the three abstinence. Also, they are also called sila, morality. Actually, we have explained many different classifications of morality in the chapter of morality in the Visuddhimagga. Okay, now we have to move the next one, the two immeasurables. So when we say the two immeasurables, I have to introduce what is it really called immeasurables. Okay, with immeasurable, sure. What is it really called immeasurables? Actually, we have the first immeasurable, like a immeasurable living beings as objects, right? Immeasurable living beings. That means, as we have mentioned, actually, when we study other texts, for example, like a sutta, we can find immeasurable as like a metta, karuna, mudita, upekkha, four immeasurables, four sublime abiding. They also got apamanya, immeasurables, because we will take immeasurable living beings, unlimited living beings, infinite living being in infinite universe. That's why they are called immeasurables. But for about metta, we have already explained in Adrosa Cetasika. That's why here I didn't include in the two immeasurables. What about upekkha? We have already explained Katamachatata, and also we have already explained in feeling. That's why we don't talk about upekkha, equanimities, as immeasurable here. Actually, four sublime abiding. When we radiate metta to our living beings, it also all the living beings, immeasurable living beings. When we do karuna, compassions, also can be all living beings. When we radiate mudita, sympathetic joy, it can be all living beings. When we radiate upekkha, equanimity to our all living beings, then this also can be considered as immeasurables. But here, we have already explained metta and upekkha in the chapter of beautiful metaphysics. That's why here I just list out karuna and mudita. Okay, karuna, compassions. Actually, compassion means we have to love all the living beings equally. This can be considered as compassions. If we don't have proper compassions, it can change to soga. Soga means grief or worry or sorry. So that means if we have compassions, it must not have a worry. We must have living beings. We must have equal compassion to all living beings. Everybody has suffering. Every single living being has suffering, but different degree of suffering. Right? So now I don't have to suffer too much, but there are many living beings in the hospital. Many living beings in the battlefield. They have to suffer a lot. So, okay, if we say karuna, compassions, it means we have to have compassion to all living beings equally. This is the really meaning of compassion, karuna. Otherwise, it can be like a soga, grief, worry, sorrow, right? If we are unwise, so the karuna, compassion can change to soga. We have to be very careful, right? Okay, now characteristics. The characteristic is promoting the aspect of alien suffering. That means dukkha panayanakara, poverty. That means you wish to remove suffering of living beings. This is the characteristics of karuna. So that when we have karuna, we have to make all the living beings peaceful and happy by overcoming suffering. The function is not bearing others' suffering. Para dukkha sahana. Actually, here sahana also can be considered as a patience. His impatience when seeing other people suffering. Right? So this is other living beings suffering. That's why I mentioned para dukkha. Para means other, dukkha means suffering. Asahana means bearing, impatience, not bearing or impatience. The manifestation is non-cruelty, avihimsa. So here we have vihimsa vitakka, right? To torture living beings, to disturb living beings. This is called vihimsa. So when we have vihimsa, we don't have karuna, compassion. If we have compassion, we don't have vihimsa. These two are opposites. Then the prosmic cause is to see helplessness in those overwhelmed by suffering. Dukkha vibhudana anatta bhava dasana. He may see, oh, they are helpless. We may think they're helpless, right? We to have this, give me the prosmic cause. So this is the compactions. One more thing here. When we talk about chapter of samatha meditations, we also have karuna, compassions. That is a jhana, for attaining jhana. But here, in this case, although we don't attain jhana, in our daily life, we also have compassions. Because the compassion, he may have different types of compassions. In daily life, we can have compassion to our living beings. When we meditate, by radiating compassion to all living beings, we can take the first jhana, the second jhana, the third jhana. This is also called compassion. A different quality. Okay? For those who can meditate well, there can be higher compassions. For ordinary people, we have ordinary compassions. But the next one is a mudita, sympathetic joy. So it will be the same as before. It will take living being as objects. Only happy living beings or successful living beings. Okay, for example, okay, sometimes people misunderstand, right? The case of Venerable Venerable Mahamoggallana, right? Especially about karuna. You may have read many stories about ghosts. When Venerable Ananda and Venerable Lakhana coming down from Gitakuta hill to Rajagaha for ants food, Venerable Mahamoggallana saw many ghosts burning. Then he smiled. Venerable Lakhana, on seeing that, asked, Pandit, why are you smiling? He said, please ask this question in front of the Buddha. Right? He replied like this. Now, many people misunderstand this event. Oh, why he smiling when seeing suffering beings? No sympathy, right? No empathy, no compassion. Why he do like this? Actually, people also misunderstand, right? Oh, that means when seeing living being, he is happy, that's why he smiles. Right? They misunderstand like that. In reality, he just smiles because he has already free from all this kind of suffering. That's why he reviewed his own ability. Oh, I have been free from this kind of suffering. Then he was happy. Then he smiled. He just smiled for his own release, not for suffering of other living beings, right? Anyway, the main thing is immeasurables must be successful living beings. If we smile when seeing happy living beings, then this means we have sympathetic joy. For example, we may see a family dancing, singing, for example, right? The family life is full of pleasure. When seeing that, oh, we are so feel happy. When seeing them, oh, their lives are very comfortable. That means we have mudita. Only one more thing is the problem. Okay, when seeing a family having fun, if we say, I wish you be like this is agusala. Okay, their lives are free, comfortable. We can rejoice their happiness. In this case, mudita. Similarly, we may see many other successful person. Okay, on the TV or on the street or somewhere else, right? There's a successful politicians or businessmen, then followed by many of his followers. Not only that, like a successful celebrity, for example, right? Many people follow him or her. After that, they are so happy with him. When seeing that, we also can feel happy. As long as we don't think, oh, I should be like this, it's okay. If we wish to be successful like this is actually agusala karma. Those are sensual pleasure. Okay, then oh, he's lucky, just feel happy with his success. Then this can be considered as a mudita, sympathetic joy. So, okay, briefly, sympathetic joy will take successful and happy beings as objects. Sometimes, if we are unwise when seeing other people's success, right? It can be also sensuality. Be careful. Sometimes we also have like a material, jealousy. We also feel jealousy. If we are wise, it can be sympathetic joy. If we are unwise, it can be also sensuality, also can be jealousy. So now here, the characteristics is gluttony, pamodana, produced by other success. This is the characteristics of immeasurables, sympathetic joy, mudita. The function is unenvious, being unenvious. Anisayana. That means we don't have jealousy. We are not envy of the person, his success. Then the manifestation is elimination of aversion, boredom, harati, and vikada. Two different things, right? So that means if we are happy, sure, we don't have aversion. We don't have boredom, right? We are not bored at the time. So this sympathetic joint also can be one of the meditation methods by taking successful living beings. If we can radiate mudita toward him or her, we can also take the first jhana, the second jhana, the third jhana. Then it also can be just ordinary sympathetic joint, mudita. In our daily life, if we are happy with other people's success or happiness, it can be considered as just ordinary mudita. If we can change the first jhana, the second jhana, the third jhana, it can be meditation, higher mudita. So actually, I also have mentioned at the end later. You can also see next one. The next one. You know, sympathetic joint proximate cause is seeing. Okay, sympathetic joint proximate cause is seeing being's success. Sadhana sampati dasana. So that means when seeing other people's success, then it can be the cause of mudita. Okay, one more thing here. Since they have different objects, they cannot associate with immaterial consciousness and supramundane consciousnesses. Be careful with this one. Because we have karuna mudita by radiating metta towards, or by radiating karuna or mudita towards living beings. If ordinary, it can be great kusala, mahakusala. For arhat, it can be mahakiriya, essential sphere consciousness. So by radiating karuna and mudita, we can take the first jhana, the second jhana. At the time, it can be material jhanas. What about immaterial jhanas, immaterial consciousness? For example, boundless space jhana will take boundless space as object. It cannot take living being as object. That is why karuna mudita cannot arise together with immaterial jhana. Similarly, boundless consciousness will take consciousness as object. Nothingness jhana will take nothingness as object. Neither perception nor non-perception will take nothingness jhana as object. That's why different objects, that's why they cannot arise together. So karuna mudita will take living being as objects. Immaterial jhana may take their respective objects. That's why they cannot arise together. What about supramundane consciousness? All the past knowledge, future knowledge will take nibbana as object. That is why this karuna mudita cannot arise together with, right? Sorry, together with supramundane states. For about validity of three abstinence, they can arise together with supramundane consciousnesses. Whenever past and future knowledge arises, they will arise together with three abstinences because they are in the Noble Eightfold Paths. Okay, these are the two immeasurables. Okay, now we have the last part about known delusions. Right? So known delusions, we can also say panya. Sometimes we also like a vijja. You may have known ignorance, right? Vijja, avijja is ignorance. Contrary to avijja, there's a vijja, knowledge. We also have already learned about moha, illusions or delusions or ignorance. Contrary to that, this we call amoha, non-delusions, also equal to wisdom. So that means wisdom means like understanding the real and unreal. Also, it also uncover the truth. For example, delusion, avijja, will cover the truth. Non-delusions, which will uncover the truth. They will open up all the truths. So here we have to understand two different situations. Sometimes we have like a highly educated people. They are well educated, right? But they are not that much sincere, or they are not really very good for people. That means they are intelligent, right? They are also educated, but they have wicked minds. In this case, it's not really called wisdom. It's like a craven or wicked mind. Similar like a Maya Satya. You have already talked about Maya Satya, right? Maya means concealing our own faults. Satya means cheating people with wrong information or something like that, right? Maybe untruth quality or non-existent quality. Anyway, the main thing is, although we are knowledgeable, or we are skillful, as long as it's not very, very beneficial, or if we don't accept the truth, this is not really called wisdom. Okay? Wisdom will arise only with wholesome minds or beautiful minds. If not beautiful minds, like a agosala, aheduka, right? Unwholesome consciousness, also unrooted consciousness, they will not arise, they will not associate with all this kind of consciousness. Okay, now, when we are going to talk about non-delusions, amoha, the characteristics is penetrating the Dhamma things according to their intrinsic nature, individual essence, Jatha Sabhava Pativeda, or short penetration, Akalita Pariveda, like the penetrations of an arrow shot by a skillful archer. When you study Jataka stories or even Bodhavansa, we can read many, many stories about skillful archer. For example, a skillful archer will be able to shoot a thread of head hair. Then, even in the dark room, he can split a thread of hair into two pieces. She has that kind of skill. That means he may be able to shoot even very fine threads, such as like a woods, right? Very, very fine woods. Then it will be considered as a skillful archer. Similarly, if we have a very strong wisdoms, we can also know very fine ultimate truths. Actually, ultimate truths are very subtle, right? We can know ultimate truths, ultimate sense with our wisdom. That's one for Akalita Pariveda. Okay? That means short penetration without missing any single things. Actually, if we say Kalita, Kalita means missing. Akalita means not missing, without missing. Then the function is to eliminate the objects with your bhasa, with your visyami, actually object or basami illuminate, like a lamp. Actually, okay, now I will talk to you today, connection in our monastery. I think today, you may know today I joined Zoom a little bit late because no electricity. If we don't have electricity, actually I cannot use my Wi-Fi. I cannot use any of mobile data. That's why now I use my Wi-Fi with power bank. I just connect with power bank. That's why, although no electricity, I can keep using internet. Now I can still use electricity. Although no electricity, I can still use. Okay? If there's no electricity, sure, we are blind, right? Totally blind. We cannot see anything. We cannot see any objects. Okay, the main thing is, although here we say object very simply, it also can be ultimate reality, it also can be conventional truths. Right? So when we have wisdom, we can see ultimate truth, like the lamp or the light. Under the light, we can see everything clearly. Similarly, with wisdom, we can see every kind of ultimate reality clearly. That's why we call 𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐸𝐻 basa. 𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐸𝐻 means object, or basa means the light, illuminating the object. The manifestation is as the clarity of perspective, lucid discernment, like a good guide in the forest. We call in Bali asamosana. Right? So the asamosana means we can also say like no delusions. Samosa also can be delusion. Samonami, like a restlessness or some indecision, right? Confusion. Samosa means confusion, right? No confusion. That's why we can say clarity of perspective or lucid discernment. Also, like a good guide in the forest. Sometimes when we get lost in the forest, if there's no guide, sure, we cannot go anywhere. We'll go to wrong directions. Okay, from time to time, we also have forest fire in 𝐷𝐷𝐻𝐸𝐬𝐬. Usually, if we, for example, okay, in the daytime, we can go around the monastery. We can know all the roads, all the walking paths. At night, we get confused, different view, right? All the scenery are not very clear. So if sunlight, we can clearly see everything, but at night we cannot see. We can get lost. Even I myself get lost at night sometimes, right? It's especially the first year when I arrived at 𝐷𝐷𝐻𝐸𝐬𝐬, we have to go to extinguish fire in the boundary. And also follow the group of bhikkhus. If there's no guides, I will get lost in the forest. Similarly now, sometimes we will get lost without knowing any truths. For example, like if we are not wise enough, we will not know what to do when our breath disappears. Then if we have experience, knowledgeable, we can know it. We can know how to handle, how to solve the problem. Sometimes when we are discerning ultimate reality, all the kalapa disappear. Right? We may not know how to do. If we are unwise, right? When we have experience, knowledgeable, we know how to handle all the cases. That's why wisdom is like a tour guide, a good guide in the forest. Another one is the prosemic cause. The prosemic cause is a concentration. As we all have already known, without concentrations, we cannot know the truth. We cannot see ultimate reality. So we have to move to the next one. The next one is we call panya. Actually, this one is the meaning of panya. Sometimes we use amoha as a panya. This is actually the characteristics of panya is the penetrating, the individual characteristics and general characteristics of ultimate reality. Dhamma sabhava pativeda. Actually, when we talk about Dhamma sabhava, sabhava means we call natural characteristics or individual characteristics. Pativeda means penetrating. With wisdom, we can penetratively know the natural characteristics or individual characteristics of ultimate reality. The function is to abolish the kind of darkness of delusion. Yeah, Dhammanam, Sabhava Patichedana Moha Vitansana. Dhammanam means the Dhamma. Sabhava means the nature. Paticheda means cover. Also, Moha means delusions. Vitansana means abolish. That's why here I mentioned the function is to abolish the darkness of delusion, which conceals the individual characteristics and general characteristics of ultimate realities. So that means if we are unwise, we cannot know the natural characteristics of ultimate realities. We cannot know the general characteristics such as anicca, impermanence, dukkha, suffering, anatta, non-self. If we can know anicca, dukkha, anatta clearly, that means we have wisdom. So we also have like a manifestation, right? The manifestation is as clarity of perspective, asamosa, or lucid discernment, non-delusion, or non-bewilderment is equal to same to previous one, right? The approximate cause is concentration, because what I said, one who has enough concentration knows and sees the Dhamma as they really are. I have already said concentration in the previous explanation, right? That's what they say. Then we have additional explanation about aggregates. Okay? So 11 categories of aggregates: past, future, present. We call 3 periods: internal and external, superior and inferior, gross and subtle, near and far. Altogether, we have 11 categories of Namarupas. For example, when we study Anatta Lakkhana Sutta, the second discourse to 5 bhikkhus, there Buddha mentioned Rupa Khanda, past, future, present, internal, external, superior, inferior, gross, subtle, near, and far. Similarly, feeling aggregates, perception aggregates, formation aggregates, conscious aggregates. In every single aggregate, the Buddha explains 11 categories of aggregates. That's why when we are practicing, we have to know all these categories. It's also important for the practitioners. And not only that, we also have different types of present. Okay? We call 4 kinds of presence. Here I mentioned Khana Pachupana, momentary present. All the namas will arise as a process. In every single process, there's a mind moment. When we can know every single mind moment, we can also know Khana Pachupana, momentary present. 2, Samaya Pachupana, timely present. This is the time of a day. For example, morning, afternoon, evening. These are called Samaya Pachupana. Then Sandati Pachupana, continuity present, is a mental process that arises taking the same objects. So that means I have already said mental process. For example, jhana mental process. Taking anamana pratipaka nimitta as object, for example. Manora vajana, mind dividing consciousness. After that, parikama, liberations, upachara, accepts, anuloma, conformity, quadravu, change or lineage. After that, jhana. This is called mental process. So we have many different mind moments, manora vachanas, mind moments, parikama, upachara, anuloma, quadravu, also mind moments, jhana, also mind moments. Combinations of many mind moments is also called Pachupana. a kind of process. Okay, if we summarize again, combinations of mind moments is called mental process. So one mental process is also called present moment. This is called continuity presence, sanati pachupana. Atta pachupana, durational present, is the entire lifetime. But from this life, from our reverse to death, this is also called present. So when we talk about be present, we have to check what kind of present it is, right? Not that easy to be present, okay? So these are present. Okay, we also have to introduce one more thing for today. This is the last part. Okay, the next one. 4 types of internal. We call ajata, right? Whenever we talk about internally, it depends on the Dhamma discourses. Buddha means 4 different types of internal. For example, here, Kochara Jata. The meditation objects from one's own body, such as 32 body parts. See also Mahasutrana Sutta. Right? So in the Mahasutrana Sutta, 32 body parts, it also mentioned internally, externally, both internally, externally. Actually, the one I mentioned many times in Mahasutrana Sutta. This also can be considered as a Kochara Jata. Niyaka Jata, the internal aggregate. See also in second jhana, Achatan Samasaranan. So that means Samasaranan here, we can also say like a faith. Faith is actually Sankhara Khanda, very strong confidence, right? This is also called Niyaka Jata. The Ajata Jata, the internal basis. See also in Dhammasangani. We may have like a eyes, ears, nose, tongue, right? We have many bases. We call so internal basis is also called ajata jata. Then 4 Visaya jata, the internal dhamma such as fruition knowledge. It just belongs to individual. We cannot share this kind of thing with other dhamma friends. This one we call Visaya jata, individual. Okay, it's personal. So according to the cases, we may have different types of internal. We also have different types of external. Okay, so these are the introductions of aggregates according to Visuddhimagga. In the Visuddhimagga, it also mentioned many different types of classifications of ultimate reality. Okay, for your informations, briefly, we just say nama rupas, mentalities and materialities. The same nama rupas can be divided into 5. It becomes 5 aggregates. All the rupas will be rupa khanda, material aggregates. Among the mentalities, feeling is a feeling aggregate. That means many other all mentalities led by feeling is called feeling aggregates. If it's an aggregate, it must be groove, right? Similarly, perceptions. All the mentalities led by perceptions is perception aggregates. So a certain feeling and a perception or other mental fetters can be considered as formation aggregates. Sometimes volition, chitana, also can be considered as sankhara. That's why all the mentalities led by volitions can be considered as formation aggregates. The consciousness, any kind of consciousness, also can be considered as a consciousness aggregate. That means all the mentalities led by consciousness is consciousness aggregates. Similarly, we may also have other classifications, such as 12 bases, 18 elements. According to the meditator's conditions, the Buddha explained many different types of analyzings or classifications. For example, the 5 bhikkhus, Panchavakiya. When you read another Lakkhana Sutta, we can understand they practice 5 aggregate methods. When we study something about Venerable Rahula, the Buddha talk about bases. So at the time, we can say Arana. Then from time to time, according to the listeners, Buddha also talk about elements methods. Okay, so today we just finished 5 aggregate methods, but not completely finished, right? We just introduce all the consciousness and mental factors. We also have already introduced all types of rupas, but we also have to introduce many other approaches. Although it doesn't mention in Visuddhimagga, I have to introduce all other way or approach about 5 aggregates. Okay, so these are the ultimate realities we have to know when we are going to practice vipassana. If we can understand all these types of ultimate realities, then our visions of namarupas or our visions of Nijja Dukkha Anatta will become clearer. That's why all the foundations are really very difficult. Now, by learning, we have to establish our foundations. After that, based on our knowledge, we can also practice systematically, also righteously. If we can practice righteously, we will achieve higher attainments. That means to achieve higher level, we must be qualified enough. Sometimes, although we expect very high quality, if we are not qualified enough, we cannot achieve anything. Okay? So every single higher attainment needs higher quality. All the higher attainments require higher qualities. That's why we have to establish higher quality for ourselves, step by step. After that, we have to improve ourselves until we can attain Nibbana. Okay? May you all be able to practice the 3 trainings, and may you all be able to realize the final cessation and not suffering.
Oh, the first question is, dear Sayadaw, who can maintain the 3 abstinences purely?
Actually, only noble persons can abstain and can train purely. For ordinary people, from time to time, we break precepts, right? It depends on our quality.
Next question. Dear Sayadaw, in Buddha's teaching, we understand that when a being passes on, he will be reborn immediately. In one sutta, it mentioned that beings might meet the king of Yama after pass on and need to answer the king's questions. In this case, has the being already passed on and reborn as another king of time of being, or he's still in the transition to another life?
Actually, those who only agusala, right? Those who just committed many agusala have to see like this. For kusala karma, no need to see, right? They will reborn and the good destination immediately.
Dear Sayadaw, in Visuddhimagga, when about the Arupa, the chapter on Arupa, why it says that the object is superior. In each Arupa jhana, it will overcome each object, the other objects. Why it says that in Arupa jhana reverse? Why is that in Arupa chapter of Visuddhimagga? It says that in each Arupa jhana, it will overcome the other Arupa jhana's object. and why it is says it is superior in object.
Okay. So that means for about material jhana, right? We have many objects. For example, anapanasati also you can attain up to 4th jhana. All the kasinas you can attain up to 4th jhana, right? Metta, Karuna, Mudita up to the 3rd jhana. So the same jhana, different objects, right? Different objects. Now for about arupa jhana, you cannot choose any objects. When you are going to enter the first immaterial jhana, you must take boundless space as objects. You must overcome material objects. Similarly, boundless consciousness, you must overcome boundless space. It must be boundless consciousness. That's why in every single step, it becomes better and better, subject and subject. That's why we call it superior. Okay? For example, when we talk about nether perception, non-perceptions, you can imagine very subject perception. Not only subject perception, very subject feeling, very subject volition, very subject efforts. So that means it will be very, all the mental factors and consciousness at the time will become very subtle. Okay? That's why it becomes superior. Okay? Any other name? Okay, Vietnam.
Yes, at all. So the question here is at all. So Vietnamese said all. So I have the restaurant and the for restaurant like noodles at all. So I daily have to go to the market and get the meat and I cook and then I cook that noodle for and selling daily. That is my job. So can Sayadaw teach me that by doing so that that's my job, my livelihood. So did I commit any apathy or any wrong livelihood by doing so?
Okay. So one more thing, right? If you have to order the meat, this is the problem. I mean, we command them to kill living beings, right? So if you don't order, but you may just go to the markets, you may just buy only the fried, dry meat, for example, right? You don't order, just go to the markets, just buy dry meat. In this case, you don't order them to kill anything. You just take, right, what they have already killed. It will be exception, okay? That is why, in this case, it depends on how you handle, how you order the meat, or how you raise the meat. For other case, it will be fine, no problem.
Thank you, Sayadaw. Our next question, Wandami Sayadaw. Could Sayadaw please advise example of internal sankhara?
So then,
is it true aditana is internal sankhara?
Actually, internal sankhara means we have internal, okay, for example, like we have a consciousness now, right? This internal, right? This internal. It's also called sankhara. For example, now we have feeling, perception, right? All the things we are feeling now. This is called internal, right? So, truth abhidhamma is adhitthana, right? True adhitthana. What is the true adhitthana?
Sayadaw, it means is adhitthana and internal sankhara.
Oh, it's okay, true adhitthana, okay. Okay, in this case, okay, one more thing. This came out with like a vajji sankhara, right? By telling the truth, for example, adhitthana, by telling the truth. This is actually, we call satya adhitthana or vajji satya. Okay, at the time, it depends on our minds, right? For that, if it's kusala or agusala, then it can be punyavi sankhara or apunyavi sankhara, it can be like this, right? Well, we can also say like the internal sankhara, sure. Okay?
So Vietnamese said also, if I trading and buying the meat, ví dụ mua thịt động vật về bán quán phở thì có phạm giới không? And I buy the meat and cook and selling that meat. So is that wrong livelihood?
Okay, I already answered, right? Like you keep asking the same question. It depends on how you trying to catch the meat. Okay, but you may buy, but before buying, you may have pre-order. You may order, right? To the butcher, for example, right? Okay, to the shop. Okay, I want to get, for example, this amount of meat today. If you order the shop, then the shop keeper will order the butcher to kill more, right? So if you have to order the meat from the shop, it can be wrong livelihoods, right? Because of your order, they have to kill more animals. Okay, for your understanding, I will introduce one more case in Myanmar. This is one of the Pausel devotees. He knows how to arrange properly. So there's one of the ordination ceremony in the village. That man is a little old, so then they just want to offer along with meat to all the attendants, right? That's why they approach the man, "Grandpa, please arrange a lot of meat for us." Then in the early morning, he's waiting in the butcher's house. Then butchers load all the pork on the truck. After loading, the old man approached the butcher. "Okay, can I get all the meat? Then I'm going to get all the meat now. Can you give me, for example?" Then although the butcher also agreed. Then they already killed. They don't order, right? Already in the truck. Then he bring all the meat to the ordination ceremony. They cook and they serve bhikkhus and all the attendants. So this kind of case, he didn't order. That's why it's no problem, no killing, right livelihoods. Okay. So if you have to order, okay, I want to get this amount of meat for today, this amount of meat for today. You have to order like this. Then it's a wrong livelihood. I have been to Vietnam, that's I know. For my chicken, right? They sell chicken on the market alive chicken, not yet killed. Similarly, fish, alive, right? Not only that, many other animals you can get alive in Vietnam. That's why you must be careful, right? Even I'm waiting for ferry boats in one restaurant. They have a small pond. They keep fish on it. When the customer come, they show the fish. They will keep on the spot, cook for him, like this, right? If you have that kind of restaurants, don't do it. Okay. Next one.
Yeah. Dear 𝐻𝐸𝐸, 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐻𝐸𝐸. Through the proper way, he purchased meat, poison, weapon. Is it considered micha ajiva? Or through proper manner, he purchased human organs. Is it micha ajiva?
Okay. So human organs, this is okay, if we have to suspect, right? Okay, proper way, okay, we cannot say micha jiva, sure. But for about weapons, we cannot say micha, we cannot say sama jiva anymore. Right? Whether we buy or we sell weapons, right? We're gonna say sama jiva. We should not have any weapon. When we have, I already talked to you about paradipata, you know? Nita sato, nita dando. If we don't use any weapon, that means we show that we have metta to our living beings. Okay? To protect ourselves from killing living beings, we must not have any weapon. This is what the Buddha wish. Although you don't kill any living beings, if you carry weapon, if you buy a weapon, the first precept will be very weak. It will make the first precept weaken. Okay, that's why we shall not have 4 points. Okay, what about points also the same? Any other thing?
Next question, dear Salvador, isn't that also cause more killing later immediately after the buying?
Sure, this is the big problem. Sure, you know. Okay, the story I have already told you, right? The old man. When before his leaving, poor Charles is killing many pigs in front of him. You know, that's why. Later, whenever people ask him to arrange a live meet, he don't arrange anymore. He didn't arrange anymore. Sure, this is also one of the things. Sure, right? Itawataja amehi sambadam bunya sambadam sabbe deva numodandu sabbe buddha numodandu sabbe satta numodandu sabba sambati siriya idame nyadinam hotu sukhita hondu nyadayo idame nyadinam hotu Sukhita hondu nyadayo idame nyadinam hotu Sukhita hondu nyadayo idame bunyam asawekaya waham hotu idame bunyam nibbanasa bhajayo hotu mama bunya bhagam savasadanam bhajemi te sabbe me samam Punya Bhagam Labandu Sandu.